One of the things I'm often asked on my Instagram is, what are the essential knives that you need in your kitchen? And honestly, you need the right knives and the right tools for the job. You know, we have this big chunk of smoked Gouda. I don't want a small knife for that. I want a large knife for that. If I'm working on these apples, a santoku is perfect for that. And then when it comes to the smaller stuff, like we're breaking down the strawberries, a smaller knife, a petty like this one, is perfect for that. You want the tool to match the job. And these three knives, like, it's hard to need more than what these three knives offer in the kitchen. The foundation of any great kitchen and food that's going to be prepared in a great kitchen is a great chef's knife. So this is the flagship knife. This is the Bighorn. This is the MKC 8-inch chef's knife with a tall heel, ergonomic handle. You know, a lot of handles, honestly, in culinary knives, especially commercially manufactured stuff, are kind of basic and blocky and sharp corners, a lot of hot spots. It was really important to me and to us that the handle of this knife is super comfortable, because the relationship that you have with this tool is through the handle. And if you're not comfortable using that handle, you're not gonna enjoy using the tool to get the work done you're trying to get done in the kitchen. The cutting edge profile is designed so that while it's resting flat on the surface, your cutting surface, it actually has a nice upsweep in the handle. So that offers a lot of finger clearance, knuckle clearance, which a lot of knives actually struggle with. And it's actually a little bit extra tall. Most chef's knives are around 2 inches. This is about 2¼ inches. Not only does that give you the extra clearance that you want for your hand, for whatever you're using or working through, but it also helps actually give a little bit more extra life in that knife, because anytime that you sharpen a knife, you're removing material. And the more material that's on that blade to start with will give you more life overall. That gives you, that makes this a knife that's gonna last your life, that you'll be able to happily hand down to your children, that will give you years of service, that just create all kinds of wonderful memories and creating delicious meals and parties and celebrations with families and friends.
I absolutely loved what Mareko had done with the Bighorn Chef, and obviously wanted him to continue on helping us build out our culinary line. And so what he came up with next is pretty amazing. The santoku.
Okay, so the beauty of a santoku is that it is a smaller knife. This is a great general purpose, like everyday. You don't need something long like the chef's knife for like slicing something large like a brisket or a roast or anything like that. This is just like you're preparing lunch and you're blasting out some apples, you're cutting up some vegetables, you're making a sandwich or something like this. Also, because it's shorter, it's less intimidating, a lot more welcoming for people to use. Again, the geometry, especially the edge profile, is really key. The spine of the blade actually kind of sweeps up. And again, it's all about creating the functionality of this knife and making it a real user, so that you have all the hand and knuckle clearance that you need off your work surface. Again, it has a fine tip that you're able to very easily access on your work surface for any kind of fiddly work, small work, if you're trying to core an apple or do whatever kind of small fiddly work you're trying to do. But yeah, the santoku is typically in Japanese culture is a vegetable knife. It's very handy for slicing, dicing, chopping, mincing carrots, peppers, onions, cabbage, all kinds of vegetables and fruits. In my kitchen, a knife this size is definitely gonna be the go-to for me, because it's just so handy and light and inviting and friendly to use.
The petty knife.
All right, so when it came to designing this knife, what was important to me for what is essentially a utility knife is that it was that exactly. It's a little bit narrower, and it's for more working off the board, like if you're holding things and cutting, or breaking down a chicken. So you're not necessarily doing any rock chopping, but it's more like boning out a chicken and doing some more fiddly work. That's what this narrower tip allows you to do. It allows you to get into joints and work around corners, but at the same time, again, being a very versatile basically a small slicing knife. So if you are, cutting up fruit and vegetables or whatever you need, this is a really handy knife to have in the kitchen. So this style of utility knife is also commonly called a petty knife. A petty knife literally comes from the French language for petit, which means smaller. It's a small, handy knife that you have in the kitchen for smaller tasks. We have the big chef's knife for large tasks, large slicing tasks, breaking down large fruits and vegetables and all kinds of foods. You want the right tool for the job. A smaller knife is for the smaller tasks. There's nothing worse than working in a kitchen, whether you're in a professional kitchen or if you're at home, and having to fight your tools to get the work done. Instead of that, having a great tool that's always going to serve you well, making those what would be considered a chore more of a joy.
I think that's actually an extension really of the hunting knife experience that we've tried to kind of achieve in the hunting knife world, where we help make that experience more enjoyable. We help make that a better experience for everyone involved, and ultimately, in the end, this is kind of that final stage of feeding the family, of extending that great experience into the kitchen for people in their homes. Yes, we would love to see these knives being used in say a commercial setting in a restaurant, but really, frankly, the focus on all of this is really on the customer and the end user in the home, out in the field and to the table.